What's up guys, today's video is on the top 5 best foldable phone of 2024. Through extensive research and testing, I've put together a list of options that'll meet the needs of different types of buyers. So whether it's price, performance, or its particular use, we've got you covered. For more information on the products, I've included links in the description box down below, which are updated for the best prices. Like the video, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Now let's get started. Number 5, Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5. The outer display on the Flip 5, which Samsung refers to as the cover screen, is 3.4 inches across and has a resolution of 748 by 720 pixels, which represents a major upgrade from the Flip 4's 1.9-inch, 512 by 260 pixel display. It sports a satisfactory refresh rate of 60 Hz, though I would have liked it to match the 120 Hz rate of the Flip 5's inner screen. The Fold 5 has the same processor but increases the RAM to 12 GB and includes a 1 TB storage option. The Z Flip 5 houses a 3700 mAh battery, which retains the capacity and the 25W wired charging speed found in its predecessor. In our battery tests, in which we stream HD video at full brightness over Wi-Fi, Z Flip 5 lasted approximately 10 hours and 5 minutes, which falls well short of the Razr Plus S 14 hours, with a 3800 mAh battery, but is improved over last year's model by about 40 minutes. The Z Fold 5 has a larger 4400 mAh battery, but it is driving much larger displays and we have yet to fully assess its battery performance. The Galaxy Z Flip 5 comes with a total of 3 cameras. The external display houses a camera setup consisting of a 12MP ultra-wide sensor with a 123-degree field of view and a 12MP wide-angle shooter with optical image stabilization and a narrower field of view. These are the same cameras that are on the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4. The rear cameras can capture video up to 4K resolution at 60 frames per second. The inner screen's camera has a 10MP sensor and can capture video up to 4K resolution at 30 frames per second. The Fold 5 also carries over its cameras, though its main shooter has a 50MP sensor and it adds a 10MP telephoto camera to the mix. Number 4, Google Pixel Fold. The screens themselves are nice enough. The outer is a 5.8-inch 1080p 120Hz panel, and the inner display is a 7.6-inch diagonal 2208 by 1840 OLED, also with a 120Hz top refresh rate. They both offer a peak brightness mode that's bright enough for use outside in direct sunlight, though the inner screen protector is plenty reflective. I used the big screen comfortably on a sunny day in some shade, but it wouldn't be the best experience in direct sunlight. The 3 rear cameras are roughly similar to what you get on the Pixel 7 Pro, but they're not exactly the same camera modules. You get a smaller 1/2-inch type 48-megapixel sensor on the Fold rather than a bigger 50-megapixel sensor on the 7 Pro, for example. Foldables of all shapes come with camera hardware trade-offs compared to their slab-style peers, which is understandable but kind of sucks when you remember you're paying top dollar. As far as image quality goes, it's a Pixel camera through and through. Color and details in bright lighting look great, with processing that leans a little cool. It handles dim light well, even when subjects are moving a bit, and night mode comes in handy, as always, for very low light. Number 3, Motorola Razr Plus. The Motorola Razr may be the lower-cost version of Motorola's foldable flip phone, but you'd have a hard time telling the difference between it and the more expensive Razr Plus. The two devices are the same height and width, though the cheaper model is fractionally thicker and weighs 0.1 grams more. We're talking about a rounding error's worth of difference. Like its more expensive sibling, the Motorola Razr unfolds to reveal a 6.9-inch polymer OLED (POLED) panel, which gives you plenty of screen real estate for working with apps, playing games, and doing the kind of things on your phone that feel more restrictive on smaller displays. The big change here is the panel's refresh rate. It's scaled down to 144 Hz on the Motorola Razr versus 165 Hz on the Razr Plus. The more significant change is the removal of the 3.6-inch panel on the outside of the Razr Plus. Instead, you've got a 1.5-inch POLED strip that's big enough for notifications and not much else. One area where Motorola didn't scale back with this new Razr involves the phone's cameras. In fact, the Razr features a camera with a higher megapixel rating for its main shooter, a 64MP sensor compared to 12MP on the Razr Plus. And yes, you can shoot at the full 64MP resolution if you want, though by default, pixel binning will produce a 16MP shot. As with the Razr Plus, a 13MP ultrawide camera joins the main shooter on the exterior of the phone. Number 2. OnePlus Open. Open the phone like a book to reveal the almost square 7.82 inches inside screen, which is excellent for apps but less suitable for widescreen movies. The display is just as good as that from Samsung's best, sharp, super bright and smooth with a 120Hz refresh rate. Better still, the crease in the center of the screen where it folds is the least visible of any rival. You can still feel a slight indentation with your finger and see it in the glare of overhead lights if you go looking for it, but otherwise you won't notice it. The Open has Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip from the OnePlus 11 and other top Androids in 2023, backed with 16GB of RAM, which is as much as a laptop. That means the folder is capable of handling practically anything you'd want to do on a phone or tablet, including lots of multitasking. It is snappy and responsive, and has good battery life of about 46 hours between charges, about as long as the best regular phones. The enormous camera bump on the back of the Open houses a 48MP main, 48MP ultrawide and 64MP telephoto camera with a 3x optical zoom. The telephoto also offers an additional 6x magnification by zooming in on the center of the sensor, similar to that used by recent Google and Apple phones. The OnePlus Open splits the difference between the shapes of incumbents Samsung and Google's folding phones, offering a better phone-like size when shut and a big square screen when open. It is lighter and less bulky to use for phone things and has some interesting ideas for how to handle multitasking on the tablet-sized internal screen. But it lacks a few bells and whistles from the best rivals, making it less powerful on the software front. Performance is excellent, as is battery life. The internal screen has the least visible fold crease yet, which is very welcome progress. The camera is also good and gives Google a run for its money too. The Open feels like quite a mature product, which is because OnePlus's parent company, Oppo, has made two folders before this, making the Open a third-generation product, not a first attempt. Number 1. Galaxy Z Fold 5. Once you get past the flatter fold and slightly trimmer body, you're confronted with two dynamic AMOLED 2X displays that haven't changed since the last Z Fold. On the outside is the 6.2-inch AMOLED 2316 by 904 display, which features a punch-hole selfie camera. It's sharp, bright, and responsive. Like its predecessor, this cover screen offers a variable refresh rate of 48 to 120 Hz. The listed screen size can be a bit misleading. Yes, it measures 6.2 inches diagonally, which is more than the 6.12-inch display on my iPhone 14 Pro, but this is a narrow display. Both the Pixel Fold and my iPhone 14 Pro are considerably, nearly half an inch, wider. Samsung may not have done much to the cameras or other Galaxy Z Fold 5 components, but it swapped out what matters. There's the still fresh Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy SoC, the slightly overclocked version of the chip now also found on the entire Galaxy S23 line. That's backed by 12GB of LPDDR5X RAM. In tandem, they made for a smooth and effortless user experience. Samsung kept battery capacity unchanged from the Z Fold 4 to the Z Fold 5. 4400 mAh is smaller than what you'll find on the Pixel Fold, which carries a 4727 mAh battery and 30 more grams than the Z Fold 5. Samsung promises all-day battery life, and that's what I consistently got. Most days it was 15 hours of use or more. The phone supports Samsung's take on super fast charging, refueling 50% in 30 minutes. In our tests, we recharged to 56% in 30 minutes using a 65W power adapter. There's no charging adapter in the box, however, just the USB-C cable, so if you want the fastest charging speeds, you'll want to pick up one of those compatible 65W or 45W adapters. Thank you for watching this video. Do like and subscribe.